For your surgery and spine center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our sports med specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives. The Blitz has been called.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Bandi Man brings up Matt Ryan, and now the whole world goes kaput. We went a little bit off air, just some technical difficulties on our end, but I think we're good now. Okay.
Yeah, should be good.
Now, what the hell were you talking about? First, well, actually, sorry. Okay, if you're just now joining us after whatever just happened, it is a Tipsy Tuesday here in the Afternoon Blitz studio, also known as No Man's Land. You're listening to the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm Captain Cool. In front of me, my producer, one Mr. Bandi Man Bailey Lowry. Now, let's get back to what we were talking about, because it was football stuff, and it threw off everything, okay? What was the statistic you were talking about with Matt Ryan?
So, Matt Ryan's tenure at Indianapolis lasted 28 weeks and 3 days.
Okay. That's
28 weeks and
wow.
3 days.
That's not that long. Huh.
It's not the length.
What is it then?
What are the numbers?
28. Oh. Say it again.
28 weeks and 3 days.
Conspiracies? I think yes. That is actually ridiculous. Well, I mean,
he can't escape it.
Well, so he's still on the team though, but he's not a starter anymore. But that was his starting. Time that he was with the Colts.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe it. And he's having a worse time, on this offense than Carson Wentz did last year.
Yeah.
Which is even crazy to think about. But I don't know.
Man, this team really does not look good. And honestly, if we want to also talk about some pretty bad football, we can talk about what happened last night.
Well, I'll get right to it, okay, in a second, because I will be doing the NFL recap. We can talk about all that stuff. We're still going to have our guest on later. And after I get over all these stories, we'll bring up who that is. When do I have to get – I'm just going to go off with it, okay? Going on past the whole Jets getting losing Breece Hall for the season, but they also picked up a pretty stellar running back in the form of James Robinson from Jacksonville for a few draft-round picks or one draft-round pick. That might go to a fifth-round draft-round pick. I don't know. It's just stuff that's going on over there. But we also learned in more NFL news – some more information about the ref's autograph moment that looked way too cringy to be true, right, Bandi? Okay.
That is true. What did we find out about it, Captain?
We learned that these veteran refs, wouldn't actually ask, these players for autographs in front of several people. I thought the same thing. I was like, no ref is gonna go up and be like asking for an autograph in front of a bunch of other people. There were a bunch of news outlets there. It was just ridiculous. So that couldn't have been true. Well, if you thought that, you're definitely right, because we learned more information about it today. What could he have asked, to get wrote on a piece of paper? Well, turns out Mike Evans and the 21-year ref, Jeff Lamberth, which he's been in the league for 21 years. He knows what he's doing. He knows the rules. You're not allowed to ask anybody for autographs and stuff like that. At least, the job's going down, okay?
Right.
But they're both Texas A&M alum. So that's pretty cool. We learned that much, and it turns out Mike Evans is actually trying to get better at golf.
Really?
That's all it was. He's trying to get better at golf. So Lamberth was trying to help reach out to, at least help Mike Evans get in contact with somebody who can help him get better at golf, because maybe they have some alumni tournaments. So I don't know, or maybe Mike Evans, he's so good on the field that he doesn't want to go and play pickleball. He wants to go and play some golf after he's done playing. So he was just getting his phone number so he could contact a little buddy of his so that Mike Evans could get a little bit better at golf.
Hey, there you go.
That's a sound argument right there. I believe it. I don't want to believe that these refs were doing that because they wanted autographs for themselves or their children. That would have just been ridiculous. But, turns out it's a good old ending to a story. I like it. You like it. Play some golf, okay? Moving on, okay? Take a little look at it, Bandi, all right, what I'm talking about here. But the Titans have been hyping up their new plans for a domed stadium in Nashville that would help push the city to possibly become a hotspot for future Super Bowl and also, or college football playoff venues. Okay, now this morning the Titans socials posted a picture of some renderings of what the new Dome Stadium will look like. And first off, I gotta say, the vibes of the venue look very, very in line with the rest of Nashville, with the cool social feeling. You know, it feels like everybody's going to come, have a nice little time at the stadium. I said kind of a similar vibe about Northwestern's new renderings of their domed stadium that they're going to be doing, but this one, it's just a totally different feeling, okay? It's the Nashville social vibe, okay? If you ever go to Nashville and you see it, most of the nice little new places they added, like 5th and Broad, they added 5th and Broad. It looks very similar. It looks like it could be right next to the stadium. But it turns out they're going for that social look, which I like because Nashville's all about that type of stuff. But a little bit of problem with, well, the stadium does look a lot bigger than I thought. It still might not hold enough for what I think is going to be a Super Bowl venue, but I don't know exactly yet, okay? But the problem I have with it, the glass roof, okay, super, super cool idea in theory. But with the wacky weather that Nashville experiences, whether it's hail, whether it's pollen, whether it's tornadoes, whether it's flooding, the flooding might not do it that much. But the rain, the hail, okay, I'm scared that this thing's going to be covered in pollen, and then when it's not covered in pollen, it's getting struck by lightning, just hail falling on it. I'm scared it's going to be either shattered or it's going to be covered in pollen just all the time.
I think it'll be good. I think they're probably making it out of like reinforced glass or something. So,
yeah.
I mean, they're probably thinking about that, so if that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm excited for it. I'm looking at the designs that you're telling me. Like, again, the inside looks
it's
insanely good.
It looks so massive. And then the outside, I mean, it looks super social. Like, I'd be going and having fun with some friends.
I don't know how to feel about the outside.
Yeah?
I don't know. It kind of feels like a giant restaurant looking at it from the outside.
It kind of does. It looks like a cheesecake factory, from what I remember at least. But it is very, it's not... I'm trying to find the word for it, but it's very like
modern.
Modern, yeah, modern minimalist, like lines, straight lines, and then like weird curves for where people will be standing and stuff. It's a cool looking, like in my opinion, it's a cool looking stadium, but to each their own. Yeah, like I said though, they better reinforce that glass because if not, that glass will get shattered. I know it probably is unlikely that it would shatter, but knock on wood. Also, either way, nothing can really help the pollen that comes in Tennessee. Okay, that pollen is insane. Okay, if it covers up my windows,
that pollen do be kind of deadly.
Yeah, it do be as deadly as Polynesian sauce. If you get it in your throat just wrong, okay.
Yeah, but Polynesian sauce is great.
Oh yeah, be bussin'.
I would say it's the best. I would say it's the best sauce at Chick-fil-A.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'm a Chick-fil-A sauce guy.
That's number 2.
Okay, that's number 2. What are we doing, a list this weekend?
I mean, maybe I could list my top 5 Chick-fil-A sauces for Friday.
All right, okay. Well, we might actually think about that. But it's spooky season, Bailey. You have other plans. Okay.
That is true. I do got a spooky list for Friday.
Yeah. Let's continue on with this because we're gonna have a jam-packed second hour. But and then moving on, I might actually just skip this one. No, I will go over it. Okay. We love some good tension between football players and football teams. And now looking back at Michigan versus Penn State, and that whole game that went down didn't really look pretty. Wasn't the best game. But the more interesting stuff actually happened in the tunnel when the teams were going in at halftime.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Let me tell you about how it happened. Okay. So, both Penn State and Michigan got into a little scrum when the tunnel got a little too crowded, with both teams being bunched up while heading into the locker rooms during halftime. I said that already. Penn State was the team in first. They were the first team to go into the locker room, and there was a little bit of they kind of halted. They kind of stopped a little bit. Okay, so Michigan was kind of just behind them, just like, what are we doing? We got to get into the locker room. We got to start moving. Okay.
All right.
Well, after the bunching, James Franklin brought up how teams should have different. This is the coach of Penn State, by the way, if you didn't know. How both teams shouldn't even have to go through this, and they shouldn't have to go through the tunnels at the same time, and how it's gonna be a problem either way. At least one day, like something bad's gonna happen with teams going and entering the tunnels at the same time, especially with these college players, emotions flying all over the place. But I don't know. However, okay, Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh said, quote, this was a week after this all happened, but he said, really got bigger fish to fry than Franklin's opinions on the halftime tunnel from a game ago. So he was already moving on. He's like, I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. It's from a game that I already destroyed this Penn State team. I don't even want to worry about it, too. So.
If soccer players can do it every game without fights breaking out every so often,
yeah,
football players could do it.
I know, and I mean, so it's one thing that we see in a lot of stadiums. Teams going into the same tunnels, getting bunched up a little bit. It's like, who cares? They usually break free. I want to know what was going on here because one Mr. Jim Harbaugh said that James Franklin was the ringleader of this whole operation.
The ringleader?
Yeah, like he was the one that stopped them in the first place. That's at least what I've seen. But I don't know. Let's see what all Harbaugh had to say after that. But he said, quote, "All you got to do is walk into the locker room, okay?" Like you saw pretty clearly there's a video that's out that they completely stopped. They weren't letting us get up to the tunnel, and it just seemed like a sophomoric ploy to keep us out of the locker rooms. I mean,
I can't imagine James Franklin being the ringleader of anything.
I know, he's just like, hey guys, we're gonna stop these guys in the tunnel so they don't get to the locker room.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna mess with them. That's how we're gonna go into the second half. We're gonna get in their heads. It's gonna stop them from taking a break.
Either way,
I can't understand the thought process.
Yeah, no, I don't know if that's really how it went down. Maybe somebody fell. I don't know. We'll figure more of that out throughout the show, maybe later on in the week, because this is already a week late. Like, this story is just now being a big deal, so it's whatever. But, yeah, either way, he's got bigger fish to fry, and he's not going to worry about a team he just walloped a week ago. So it's whatever. But and then later on in the show, we'll have the Bandi Man talking about some more information that we didn't really get to get into yesterday, but about Waka Flocka getting a little esports drama going down.
He's calling out some fighting game.
Heck yeah.
Some fighting game players, trying to get some games in and see who wants to smoke. And he's calling out the best of the best. He's not calling out chumps.
Yeah, so this is Waka Flocka Flame we're talking about, right?
Yep.
The Waka Flocka.
The Waka Flocka Flame. I go hard in the paint, Waka Flocka Flame.
Okay, well, I mean, we'll see what goes down with this. I'm excited for that. And then we're going to learn some more information about the Bayonetta voice acting controversy that was going down and how the woman may or may not be lying about what she was offered to reprise her role. That's going to be interesting as well. And then a new character is coming to Multiverses. You guys may know what it is. Throw up some guesses, call in, see who you want in Multiverses. I don't know. I just want to kind of hear what people want in Multiverses.
Yeah.
Endless possibilities.
Endless
possibilities. And then we're going to learn about all the information from all the best teams in the Halo World Championship and who came on top last weekend. It's going to be super exciting. I can't wait to talk about that.
Also, don't forget, we got former professional defensive end Anthony Herron on with us today at 3 o'clock to talk some NFL football.
Oh, yeah. I was just about to get to it, but I'm glad you reminded me just in case. But, yes, Anthony Herron from 670 The Score in Chicago. He also covers Big Ten sports. We'll be excited to talk about some college football as well as some Chicago football because last night, dude, we saw Chicago go down and get a little dub in New England. Very exciting for them because, we didn't know which way their season was going, whether it was going up, down, turn around, I don't know, do a backflip, do a barrel roll, I don't know. But, yeah, we're going to figure out all the jazz with that and what we can see and what we can expect to see from the Chicago Bears moving forward this season because I got to say, I don't know if they looked good or if the Patriots just looked that bad. But, yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff from that. And during the cool segment, we will be doing the NFL recap. So we'll go over all of the scores from this past weekend and also Monday and also Thursday. But that's all coming up later on in the show. So you guys don't touch a dial because you're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
If you or someone you love is dealing with breast cancer, please listen to this important information. Since 2016, Compression and Mastectomy Solutions has been providing medical-grade compression garments and medical supplies for breast cancer patients. Our experienced staff is ready to help Monday through Thursday 8 to 1 and 2 to 4:30. Friday by appointment only. In Huntsville at 109 Marshoots Avenue. Call 256-801-8125 or log on to c-msolutions.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today. Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
And welcome back to the Afternoon Blitz here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Network. I'm your host, Bandi Man, a.k.a. Bailey Lowry, joined actually this time across the aisle as I'm trying to...
Yeah, you're doing a lot over there, man. I appreciate it.
I'm doing a lot now. Joined across the aisle by fellow co-host, Captain Cool John Abraham.
Yeah. We got a lot to talk about moving on in the show, but make sure you guys remember that this first hour has been presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We had a little stutter go on, and now I'm coughing a little bit. I got a little froggy in my throat. Let me get that out of here first. All right, I'm good now. But, yeah, this first hour is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys that show up, get your job done when you need it, because winter's coming up. You guys definitely need it. Make sure your house is just as secure as possible. Sure, it's
secure.
You just got to do that, okay? Because that's just it's being adult, you know. Be an adult. Yep. Go out and make sure your roof is all right. Because
you know what they also do?
What?
They show up.
They definitely show up, okay? But if you guys want to follow us on socials, you can find us on Twitter at @TheBlitz_Sports. You can find us on Facebook at The Blitz Sports Radio. Definitely do that because you can find our streams as well. And if that's not your jazz and you just got a Twitch or you got a YouTube and you want to watch us there, WZZN TV, look us up on YouTube at 97.7 ESPN The Zone, which is our sister station. It'll take you to WZZN TV a little bit faster. And if you want to join in on any of the conversations we're talking about today, call us at 256-576-4977. You know the deal, everybody.
Dang, that was fast.
I know, I'm getting really quick with it.
I don't know if they heard that right number.
Sorry, it's 256-576-4977. I've gotten to the point where I could literally I could do it without the script, but if I don't have the script, I do it so fast that maybe if I miss a number or something, you guys won't even realize it, and you'll just know exactly what I meant. But I'll make sure it's good. I'll make sure I do a great job and tell you guys exactly where you gotta call us, because we'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And whenever we do the NFL recap coming up later in the show, we want to know how your team fared, and if you think there's anything going forward that's going to make your team a little bit better than we expect, because you know what? We only know what we saw. So, and we know a little bit about the backgrounds of these teams. We know a lot of the quarterbacks are getting changed around. And my biggest question is, with Matt Ryan being benched, with Mac Jones being benched, is Tom Brady at risk of being benched as well?
I mean, who does Tampa Bay have behind Brady?
You know what? I meant to look this up, but I don't think the Buccaneers even think that they're going to need to do that. Let me see. Their roster. You could also we'll get to the point where we're just like perfect at synchronizing each other. Second string. Let's see.
Yeah, second string. But I mean, it's true though, because I mean, Tom Brady this season has just been declining in quality. It just seems with every game. It doesn't seem to be by like a lot each game, but it's still noticeable.
Yeah, it's something that's like his team as a whole. Yeah, you could blame it on his team. You could blame it on the coaching. But at the same time, I mean, Tom Brady, he's been missing practices on Wednesday. He's been leaving his team a little early. I think the connection's just not there. By the way, second string is Blaine Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert?
Yeah, which he's a solid backup quarterback. He's been in the league for a long time now. I mean, he's played football. He's actually gotten starts. So, I mean, it's like, who do you think is backing up Tom Brady? Of course, it's Blaine Gabbert. I mean, you think about it. I should have even known that, but it's whatever. But maybe we might see Blaine Gabbert one of these days. I don't know. Could you really just justify sitting one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the entire NFL?
I mean, you probably couldn't justify it like 3 or 4 years ago.
No.
But, I mean, now with kind of the way he's playing, and you could even say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, do you make the move if you're Tampa Bay, if you see another game or like this out of Tom Brady or even worse?
Yeah, I mean, with Aaron Rodgers, you can understand, you know, he's got some young wide receivers on his team, but he still should be able to make ends meet.
He's still drinking that tea too.
Yeah, he's still drinking that tea. I don't know if he's allowed to drink it during the season, but maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know really what all that is. But at the same time, the Bucs. Sorry, I was just looking at old Tom Brady pictures. The Bucs are paying Tom Brady so much money. It's just like, that's where it's like, do we dare even sit him? Like, we're paying him so much. I don't know if they can get any better with Blaine Gabbert. So it's like, Tom Brady, you may be a little bit of a, I would say I don't want to say he's like corrupt for the team. I think he's got a little bit of a bad negative energy going on. But, I mean, he's trying to get the team as good as they can be. And, I don't know if he's really doing what he could do to be the best he could be either.
Yeah.
So
and it's also like buyer's remorse. It's like, man, we spent all this money on
Exactly.
Tom Brady. It's like we kind of got to use him. It's like buyer's remorse into using Tom Brady.
Yeah. And I can't wait to talk a little bit about that that disgusting Bucks Panthers. I keep trying to say Patriots because the Patriots just played yesterday. But the Panthers and the Bucks game was just gross. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, Matt Ryan, he's 3-1, I guess, in the season. That's not too bad, okay?
But you would think he would get at least 7 points against the Panthers team.
Yeah, you'd think that Tom Brady would do a little bit better, maybe score a touchdown or something, because he is the GOAT. He's got Mike Evans on his team. He's got a lot of stellar players. Mike Evans is the one that I'm just thinking about the most, especially because people wanting his autographs. The refs are wanting his autographs. That's not true, by the way. I was just making a joke about that, but still. Everybody wants to. Mike Evans, he's a stellar player. I'd want him on my team. I mean, you got wide receivers right there. And then I definitely want to get into some more Aaron Rodgers talk later whenever we talk about the Packers versus the Jets because, Bobby, it was just, just some terrible plays. Terrible plays. But I can't wait to talk more about that. But at 3:25, okay, that's when Anthony Herron from 670, The Score in Chicago, is coming on with us to talk a little bit about the Bears and also some just Big Ten football overall. I want to know what the teams could do moving forward. If Michigan could make a break for the top 3 possibly going into this week.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got some Big Ten teams up there at least, and then outside of the top 10, we got what is it? Illinois. We got Penn State, which obviously isn't as good as Michigan. We saw that, but still, okay. We got Big Ten teams up there. Okay, It's Big Ten, SEC. That's what you got. Okay, that's what we got to look forward to this weekend too. Okay, the AP poll looking pretty great. I wish that Syracuse. I'm moving over to ACC, but I wish Syracuse could have beat Clemson. I'm gonna be honest. Syracuse would have looked nice in that top 10 spot. It was not good second half for Syracuse.
I was so hoping they would pull off that upset, but man, they just had to come through in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. It was all right. It was whatever. I mean, it's Clemson. I mean, it's one of those teams where you know that this team's not going to just lose a game. They're not going to give you a game, okay? Even though they have been a little shaky against Syracuse in the past few years.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Coming up, what we got going down, I'm going to go do you want to do the play-by-play 3?
I mean, I can do it. I feel like your NFL rundown is going to be pretty bulk, though.
It's going to be pretty good.
Yeah. You know what? We'll come back with the NFL rundown.
Yeah.
I can squeeze in my stories at the play-by-play after we talk with Anthony Herron.
Excited for that. But you know what's going on, guys. Don't touch that dial because when we come back, we got a whole nother hour. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
This hour of the Blitz is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Online at FlemingHSV.com. Welcome to the evolution of sports radio.
You see, in this industry, just like in life, everything evolves.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for the Blitz.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Smokey, Captain Cool, and the Bandi Man.
How you like me now? 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 Remember the time.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Afternoon Blitz. On this beautiful Tipsy Tuesday we got going on, I had to take off the jacket. Now I'm just showing you guys my Budweiser shirt. I love it. I love this shirt. It's the best shirt. It's the greatest shirt. I love it. No, I'm gonna stop with the Trump impressions, but I'm over here, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry, and we're having a great little time right now. We're about to get into some NFL scores from this past weekend. If you guys missed anything, you know what to do. You're listening to the perfect thing for it. If you guys want to find us online, go to theblitzsportsradio.com, on Facebook at the Blitz Sports Radio, and on Twitter at the Blitz_sports, as well as WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube to see our beautiful faces. A lot of stuff's going down here. We got a lot of lights. We're looking pretty official over here, Bandi.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not burning up in that seat.
Dude.
You got so many lights on here.
It's, like I say all the time, and like we know here in the studio, it is extremely cold here. So these lights act as like a fire to me. So now I'm very warm and cozy in my little bungalow, I guess I could call this, because it's a little corner area.
Hey, no, you got a good point.
Yeah, that's what exactly. I don't even have to wear the jacket. I was sweating with the jacket on, so I took it off. Even though we're going to get into some football talk, and the Browns are going to be one of the stories I definitely talk about because oh my gosh, they're falling apart, falling into shambles. But if you guys want to join in on any of the conversations today, call us at 256-576-4977. And this second hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, the place to get the best cars for the best prices. Definitely go and get a Mustang or something. Start doing donuts in a Mustang. I don't know. Make sure it's a safe parking lot, though. But you can definitely do that. It's going to be great. But let's get into a little bit of the stuff we're going to talk about, okay? Football over the weekend, a little underwhelming compared to other weeks, but we got to see some teams get upset. I know one team in particular. I said the Jets beat them, but no, the Jets did beat them a week ago. But I'm talking about one Mr. Green Bay Packers. And Washington Commanders had to go up in there and just show them how it's done. So that's all coming up here on What's Cool.
It's getting hot in here.
Hot air. So hot in here. That's a spicy meatball.
So it's time to cool down with Captain Cool.
Oh, yeah.
You know what cool is?
I don't know. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. So things that would go into the cool segment would be like the Titans' new stadium. That's pretty sick. A little bit of fighting going on in some Big Ten football. That's pretty cool. But that's old news now. We're focused on NFL scores. So I'm going to play my little music right here. See if this goes flawlessly. If it does, it should.
Yep, it's going through.
That sounds perfect. All right. You guys know the deal. Got the music going. I'm about to get into this. All right? What do we got first? That's right. We got the Saints and the Cardinals. Okay, the Cardinals rocking a very, very, very cool black on black uniform. Nice black helmets. Shining. That's exactly what they did. They shined. And they beat the Saints. We already talked a little bit about this one, but let me tell you exactly what happened. Andy Dalton had a terrible but also a great game, and he had the numbers of 361 yards passing with 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Wow. Gross. What?
Oh, wait, turn the music down a little bit.
Just a little. I can do that.
Just a little bit.
Hey, that's totally fine. I can even talk louder. I hear the music in the back of my head.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Kyler Murray on the other side, on the Cardinals side. 3-4 Cardinals now. 204 yards, 1 touchdown pass. Didn't do too much, but he started running a little bit. Maybe he had the Call of Duty. He was yelling at his coaches sometimes. It was funny. It was a great time. There. But the real shower right here was DeAndre Hopkins coming back from an injury with 10 receptions, 103 yards. Great performance by him. But the Cardinals win this one 42-34. Good time. It was a good time. Thursday Night Football, we've seen a lot of terrible games. This one, supposed to be another terrible game. You know what? 2 terrible teams, kind of terrible teams. High-scoring game. I like to see it. Moving on. Steelers, Dolphins. Kenny Pickett is playing. That was the biggest shocker for me. Did the Steelers play good? Not in the first quarter. Dolphins looked stellar with Tua Tagovailoa coming back, throwing. They got 13 points in the first quarter, guys. That's pretty stellar for the NFL, I will say that. But Tua Tagovailoa, he threw 261 yards passing with 1 touchdown. He looked really good. Throughout the game, he kind of started going a little down. But other than that, you know what? I got to say, pretty good job by him coming back. Jalen Waddle, 4 receptions, 88 yards. On the other side, Kenny Pickett with 257 yards passing with 1 touchdown. Najee Harris did a lot of the groundwork, 17 attempts for 65 yards. And honestly, second half of this game, very boring because there was no scoring. Okay, so all we had to do was really just watch the first half of this game, turn off the TV. Because it ended 16-10. Dolphins get the dub. Steelers move to 2-5. I don't know what the Steelers are going to do, honestly. Kenny Pickett can't save them. I don't know who will. Moving on. Seahawks, Chargers. Guys, Chargers got the coolest uniform in the game, I will say. Okay, this all blue just looks so nice. And the blue Thunderbolt on the side. Thunderbolt. Lightning Bolt on the side of the helmet looks great. I will say that. Didn't do them good, though. Because they went up against the Seahawks and one Geno Smith, who is an absolute baller. Okay, Geno Smith, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns. You see what I did there? 2 touchdowns. Great job by him. He just continues to impress us.
More. Slide it down a little more.
Okay, the music. Yeah, the music gets louder. It gets louder.
A little more. You want to kind of barely up.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
There it is. Marquise Goodwin, amazing. Geno Smith had a nice little reception, or a receiver right there with 4 receptions, 67 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns. It was just a great game by the Seahawks. They really just came out there, looked amazing. Okay, where the Chargers were a little shaky, we had Justin Herbert throwing a little bit of off passes, just not looking really like Justin Herbert usually does. Austin Eckler, on the other hand, he was doing both the running game and the receiving game, because he had 9 attempts for 31 yards rushing with 1 touchdown. Not too good, not too bad, I will say. But he also had 12 receptions. 12! He's a running back. Just imagine how many dumped passes he got. So many. 96 yards with 1 touchdown. Game ends. Just wasn't it. It wasn't it for the Chargers. They could not score. 37-23. Seahawks get the dub, move to 4-3. Chargers also 4-3. They're not doing that bad on the season. They just got to kind of pick up the pace again. All right, Justin Herbert needs to just relax a little bit. Moving on. Chiefs 49ers. What we thought was going to be a pretty electrifying game. We got to see Christian McCaffrey come in, play for the 49ers a little bit. He got a little studying going on. He came in, didn't really do too much. It's whatever. We'll move it on. Jimmy Garoppolo, 303 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He's a solid starter. He can start, okay? But is he holding back the 49ers? I don't know. I don't know if Trey Lance could do any better, honestly. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes on the other side, 423 yards passing with 3 touchdowns. Man's an absolute beast. Juju Smith-Schuster, the guy that was playing Call of Duty with the team on Friday, got him. Everybody was pumped up. 7 receptions, 124 yards. 1 touchdown. Man was on something that day. George Kittle on the other side, best receiver on the team at least. 6 receptions, 98 yards with a touchdown. It's tight end security blankets, guys. It's either the tight end or it's a little dunk pass to the running back. And you know what? George Kittle got the blunt of it. He got all of it.
That's my tight end right there.
That's your tight end.
Carry me in fantasy.
Exactly. It's like Cooper Kupp for me last year, but I don't have him anymore. Moving on. Ugly looking game. At least you think so. The Jets and the Broncos. Jets used to suck. Broncos suck now. Now the Jets are great. Broncos suck. That's just how it be, guys. But we didn't even get to see Russell Wilson. We got Brett Ripien? Ripien? I think it's Ripien. 225 yards passing. Not bad by him. I got to admit, not bad. He probably did more than what Russell Wilson did, but the score turned out the same. It's just low-scoring game. Broncos defense is good. Their offense is terrible. That leads to just low-scoring games, guys. Zach Wilson, 121 yards passing. Breece Hall, just an amazing performance by him. 4 attempts, 72 yards. 1 touchdown. 62 of those yards on 1 carry. Yeah, if that shows you anything. The Jets really needed him, and they lost him, so that sucks. Melvin Gordon on the other side, 11 carries, 33 yards. If that shows you anything, guys, Melvin Gordon, Breece Hall, rookie running back, a veteran running back, these rookies are something else. I'll say that. Jerry Jeudy, 7 receptions, 96 yards for the Broncos. Just wasn't enough. Broncos don't score in the second half. The Jets, 16-9. Jets moved to 5-2. Oof, that's been a while since that's happened. I believe that. Moving on to another terrible-looking game. Texans, Raiders. Texans sitting at 1-3-1. Now they're sitting at 1-4-1. Yeah, that's right. They lost. Of course they lost. The Raiders go in. Have a nice little time at home. Derek Carr, 241 yards passing with 1 touchdown. I mean, it was a stellar game by him. I think he did everything right. Josh Jacobs, former Alabama running back, did something even more special because he was running the ball nonstop, guys. Yeah. He was running the ball nonstop.
It's like they finally decided to have the good idea to give the ball to him in the fourth quarter like they should have done the first 3.
Give him the ball. Now I'm just sitting here. Yeah, Josh Jacobs. What a spectacular game by him. Let's see, what did he do? What did he exactly had? He had 20 attempts, 143 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. The man is the team. Devontae Adams, starting to get a little bit more used to it. He's starting to make a big noise over in Las Vegas. Okay, he's got 8 receptions, 95 yards, and on the other side, Davis Mills, 302 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and it wasn't enough. I mean, it wasn't enough. The game ends 38-20 in the Raiders' favor. That's nice. Moving on to a surprising game, probably the most surprising game, maybe of the season. I think Buccaneers Panthers, guys. Oh my gosh, PJ Walker going in. Oh, showing why he should be the starting quarterback for the rest of just anything that the Panthers are doing, because holy crap. I mean, Baker Mayfield over PJ Walker, I don't know about that. PJ Walker, 177 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore, 7 receptions, 69, nice, and 1 touchdown. Great stuff. On the other side, Tom Brady, 290 yards passing. Pretty stellar. No touchdowns. None. Mike Evans, 9 receptions, 96 yards.
Decent.
Mike Evans, he's worthy of maybe getting a signature after the game. What do you think, Andy?
I mean, he'd be worthy of it, but I think he might want to go focus on his golf game instead.
Exactly. I like that.
But you know what? I mean, you were right about it being the most surprising because it really is. This Buccaneers defense just got picked apart by a second-string quarterback for a Panthers team that's on an interim head coach.
Yeah.
They got picked apart.
There was no it was not necessary to even go off like this, okay? No points in the first quarter, and then just 7 points in the second, 7 in the third, 7 in the fourth. Panthers win that one 23 to a measly 3. They got 1 Ryan Suckup field goal.
Yeah.
That's all I got. It's terrible. Moving on. Panthers moved or the Buccaneers moved to 3-4. I mean, it's a close game, I guess, but yeah, moving on. Giants, Jaguars. Jaguars need to start doing something because they were starting to look like they were going to be something, but now they're being nothing. And they're losing to the Giants, which the Giants, again, another team that shouldn't have been as good as it is, but they are. They're 6-1 now after beating the freaking Jaguars.
Yeah.
Close game, though. Daniel Jones, 202 yards passing with 1 touchdown. It was really just the Giants had to catch back up to this one because, I mean, the Jaguars had it in the bag, okay? Trevor Lawrence, 310 yards. ETN, which, I mean, he's the starter now for this team because we got to see Robinson. He's gone. He's on the Jets now. ETN, 14 attempts, 114 yards, 1 touchdown, looking very good. But on the other side, Saquon Barkley was putting on a little bit of a show because he had 24 attempts for 110 yards.
Yeah.
2 spectacular running backs going at it. It was nice to see ETN doing a little bit, but not enough because the Giants get another win just out of nowhere. Daniel Jones scores touchdowns at the end of the games. 23-17 is the end of this one. It's a beautiful one. Moving on. Now, we were talking with Joe Hunk, okay, with Nashville, the Zone in Nashville, okay, kind of like it's almost like a merge station, but it's not. It's just the same name, different station altogether. But Titans-Colts, we didn't know what the Colts were going to do to the Titans. We thought the Titans could just maybe steamroll them fine, that's fine. But there were some questions that were brought up. What type of Colts team is going to come in and try to face off against the Titans? Well, turns out it wasn't anything too different because Matt Ryan, 243 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Jonathan Taylor still held in check, 10 attempts, 458 yards, just nothing going by there. Brian Tannehill, 132 yards, not too much passing. It's okay because when you have a Derrick Henry in the backfield, ain't no need.
Yeah.
Give him the ball.
Yeah, my goodness, did they get their use out of Derrick Henry during that game? What, 30 carries?
30 attempts, 128 yards.
Yeah, they got their use.
I'd hope. Former Browns tight end Austin Hooper was the best wide receiver on the team with 3 receptions for 56 yards. Titans win that one 19-10. Colts just couldn't get anything going in the first half, so they had to score some of their points in the second. Just not it.
Yep.
Colts falling apart. Now Colts move on. Maybe a nice little boy from Texas might be able to help them out.
Yeah, I mean, Colts move on from this loss and on to a new quarterback.
Exactly. Where's Matt Ryan going to end up? I don't even want to talk too much about it.
Back to Atlanta.
These lights might turn off. Atlanta's looking good with who they got, okay? But moving on to another shocker. The Packers Commanders. Holy crap, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Packers looked amazing on that first drive. Whenever Aaron Rodgers can get the ball out of his hand in a timely manner, that's when he shines.
Yeah.
But when he's held in check and he's in that pocket and he's got to scramble a little bit, he's an old guy. He's not going to be as elusive as some of these younger rookie quarterbacks, especially Tyler Heineke, because Heineke, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said. I mean, that's kind of that just sums up this one game really well. And that the Packers, they had like their little spurts of offense, and that Aaron Rodgers really did look good.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Washington Commanders offense just overall was a lot more consistent than Green Bay's, in that they were a lot more consistent scoring, getting within scoring position, setting up well. And actually, the defense was consistently better too.
Yeah.
I mean, they won the game only by 2, but it seemed like just from watching them from the eye test that they were outplaying them the whole game.
I agree. And the backfield for the Commanders is starting to really come into form, okay? Brian Robinson, 20 attempts, 73 yards, okay? And then we also have, Antonio Gibson, who's doing just as well on the other side. He's just doing a wonderful time. And then, when you're the Packers and you can't really do anything with the run game, you got to start passing to your running backs. Aaron Jones did a great job in this game.
Yeah.
And he would have so many points on my fantasy team if I put him as a flex because he was pretty much a wide receiver in this game. They just can't get anything going on the ground. Aaron Jones rushing, 8 attempts, 23 yards. Gross. A.J. Dillon didn't do much better. Allen Lazard, 6 receptions for 55 yards. He's the only wide receiver that Aaron Rodgers really has, okay? Oh, Packers tried to come back from this one. It got really close at the end, but it was just a little too late. Washington wins. It's the only good thing for Washington right now because there's everything else that could go wrong is going wrong. They win that one 23-21. Gross. Moving on. Lions, Cowboys. Dak Prescott's back, baby. I'm a little sad. I missed Cooper Rush, but it's all right because it looks like the Cowboys are doing fine with Dak Prescott as well because he had 207 yards passing with 1 touchdown. And, yeah, I mean, it was a stellar game. CeeDee Lamb, 4 receptions, 70 yards. Good stuff by there. On the other side, I got to say, the Lions aren't looking too bad. They just could not get in the end zone. They couldn't score any touchdowns. Jared Goff, 228 yards passing. Williams running 79 yards. Stellar. Yeah. That's stellar right there. But it just there's not much to say about this one because the Lions are 1-5 now. Cowboys 5-2 after moving on from Cooper Rush because Cooper Rush is a backup. He was just holding down the fort for a little bit. He had a bad game against the Eagles. That's fine. Let him sit for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with this game, I don't know really what changed with this Cowboys defense between the first and second half, but in the second half, Detroit could not get anything going. Oh, my goodness.
It was just stellar performance by the Cowboys.
They were just reading the Detroit Lions offense so well.
Yeah. This game ends Cowboys winning 24-6. Moving on. Browns, Ravens. Let's get into it. Terrible. That's all I can really say. Browns looking beautiful to start off the game. They always have so much energy. They get into it. They start throwing the ball down the field. It looks great. Nick Chubb's getting the ball. It's how it should be. It's either hand the ball off to Nick Chubb or maybe pass the ball down the field. There shouldn't be short passes just nonstop, okay? Browns start off amazing, okay? 10 points in the first quarter against the Ravens, 3 points. Then the Ravens go on to just score in every quarter. 10, 7, 3. It was too much for the Browns. Browns kept it close, I will say, but it was similar with the Packers game. It just wasn't there. It wasn't enough, okay? Nick Chubb, 16 attempts. He should have 40. 91 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Amari Cooper, still doing amazing, even though he's not at home. He had 74 yards. Great stuff right there. Lamar Jackson, he was held in check. The man got sacked a few times. This is something I couldn't say last year because the man was wiggling away from everybody. He only had 120 yards passing. He wasn't the main guy who was rushing the ball. The Browns' defense, rushing defense, terrible. It's just gross. Edwards, 16 attempts, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. It was just there. It was just the running game. They just got to fix something.
Man, just listening to you talk about the Browns, you know what would fix all your problems?
Not being a Browns fan?
If y'all just hired the Army coach.
That is an idea right there, okay?
Yeah.
And we just need to get rid of our defensive coordinator.
That'd be your 40 carries right there.
Browns lose this one 23-20. Sad stuff right there. Moving on to the Falcons-Bengals game, which I expected more from you, Falcons. I really did. They scored all their points in the second quarter. That was 17 to be exact. Marcus Mariota, 124 yards passing with 1 touchdown. Joe Burrow, on the other hand, just absolute destruction with 481 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Running back Mixon, 17 attempts, 58 yards, and 1 touchdown. And then Tyler Boyd, just 8. He freaking went off. Yeah. 8 receptions, 155 yards, 1 touchdown.
So if you had any Cincinnati players in your fantasy lineup this week, you were probably pretty good.
Yeah. The bull crap here is I had Tyler Boyd as my wide receiver in fantasy last season. Now I don't. I don't. I didn't think they'd throw it to him as much as Jamar Chase, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I was say I don't blame you.
Yeah. Bengals win that one 35-17. Just Falcons looking good. They just need to be able to finish against bigger teams, okay? Better teams. That's what I'm saying. Moving on. Last night's matchup, guys. I don't know, man. Is this the end of Mac Jones?
I mean, are the Bears a team or are the Patriots frauds?
I think they're both just terrible teams, if we're being honest. I mean, I don't really know what to expect anymore. We had to see Zappi came back. Bailey Zappi came back in. 3 drives. 3 drives was Mac Jones given. Okay.
Yeah.
1 interception after just kicking a defender in the nuts. He really did. If you saw that slide, he performed. It was like last second, just a little kick to the gooch. But, yeah, he's out of there. He throws an interception. He's done for the night. And Bailey Zappi looking amazing in the first 2 drives, I will say. He was throwing the ball down the field. He was getting the ball in the receiver's hands, and he was setting them up for the touchdowns. That's where the 2 touchdowns did come in the second half. The second quarter, they scored 14 points. Bailey Zappi, 185 yards passing, 1 touchdown. And, yeah, that was pretty much all she wrote. I mean, Justin Fields, 179 yards passing with 1 touchdown, and his rushing game was just all over the place. This man is so elusive. When he actually gets to run the ball, he looks pretty good. When he has a decent team to actually block for him, he's looking pretty good. 14 attempts rushing, 82 yards rushing, and also 1 touchdown. Oh yeah, and Mooney had himself a pretty good game too, 53 yards receiving. Stellar stuff. That was week 7 in football. Guys, we're talking to RJ White tomorrow, and I'm excited to figure out what all these implications can mean. We got to talk about winners, losers. If you guys want to call into the show, 256-576-4977, do so. Tell us who your winners and losers are, or comment on our Twitter at @theblitz_sports. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to conversate with you. Bailey, real quick, who's your winner? Who's your loser for this week?
So I'm trying to think. My winner for this week. See, I want to give it to the Chiefs. just because of Patrick Mahomes' stellar performance.
Stellar.
But if I'm thinking reality, honestly, the Panthers.
Panthers?
I mean, pulling off probably the biggest upset of the week and just completely shutting down Tampa Bay. And that's also going to be my biggest loser is Tampa Bay because, by God, that team looked terrible.
There you go. Biggest loser for me, Tampa Bay. Horrible. They got to do something. Tom Brady's got to connect on a different level with his players. Maybe play some Call of Duty or something. I don't know. Biggest winner, I want to say the Commanders because they have Heineke at quarterback. Maybe it's something special going down for them, but I don't really know because the Packers just don't know what they're doing either. So I'm going to go with Joe Burrow because that 481 yards passing is just insane. 3 touchdowns. They just went off.
I like that.
Went off against the Falcons. 4-3. The Bengals are 3-4. The Falcons do beat. We're going to hit a little break when we come back, guys. Super excited for the guests we got on. We got Anthony Herron from 670, The Score in Chicago. He also covers Big Ten sports. We're super excited to get into some of that type of information. I can't wait to learn some. That's what's all coming at us on the Afternoon Blitz.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop. If you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman. as well as Hughes Road in Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to a Tipsy Tuesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome back to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm Captain Cool alongside Bandi Man, my wonderful producer, doing a great job, doing a lot over there. Yeah, it's been a pretty great day so far, talking NFL sports, talking more than that, though. But now, on the line, one Mr. Anthony Herron from 670 The Score in Chicago, who also covers Big Ten. We're going to definitely get some of that stuff. Anthony, how are you doing?
Outstanding. Even though it is a rainy day in the city of Chicago right now, you would think that the sun was shining and it was 75 degrees after the results of the Monday Night Football game last night.
Well, it may be raining a little bit, okay, and it's a little cloudy where we're at too, but you got to say there's some sunshine because the Chicago Bears, that performance last night was it was wonderful. I don't know if I should give it to the Bears that they played like extraordinary, something different, or if the Patriots just had a bad game, they didn't know what they're doing at quarterback. What are your takeaways from this game from last night?
Well, I tend to be Mr. Context in situations like this, and so throughout a season where Bears fans have been really hopeful for quarterback Justin Fields, watching his development and hoping for what he can become, folks have been pretty discouraged because they haven't seen big yardage from the passing attack. They haven't seen an offense at large that's really scored many touchdowns. Mm-hmm. But what we've seen that folks haven't necessarily paid attention to the last few weeks is an offense for the Bears that's been improving. They've been adjusting on the fly, not only a first-year head coach in Matt Eberflus, but a first-year offensive play caller in Luke Getsy, a first-time defense. Well, Alan Williams has been a coordinator in the past. First time he's done it in Chicago. And, of course, Ryan Poles, their GM, it's his first year. So there's a lot of newness in Chicago. They've basically gone into rebuild mode, but not with a rookie quarterback, but with a second-year quarterback the previous regime drafted last year. So the training curve for the Bears has been a bit askew because you don't have a rookie QB surrounded by all this newness. All that being said, last couple of weeks, the team's been getting better. The defense has finally started to play better. They've been coming up with stops and takeaways, and they outplayed the Washington Commanders on Thursday Night Football in every facet, except they kept having fourth and goal-to-go scenarios where they came up empty. But it was the most sustained offensive game the Bears had all year. And Justin Fields isn't surrounded by a lot of talent on offense, at receiver, on the offensive line, you name it. But he's been figuring out ways to really get this offense churning. And it doesn't always look pretty, but between his arm talent and his ability to extend plays, and now we saw last night's game plan, just called them more into quarterback runs and pocket movement. And everything really came together pretty effectively. But I've really been telling people around Chicago, I've seen this coming for a couple of weeks. I certainly didn't think the Bears were going to boat race the Patriots like they did, but the performance doesn't shock me as much as it does to people. Yeah,
I have to agree. I think that the consistent scoring by the Bears and just the consistent ability to get the Patriots off the field, they did a great job, just 3 and outs left and right. But the one thing I've definitely noticed about this Bears team is whenever Justin Fields can run the ball and pass the ball, that's when they win.
It makes a huge difference. And
it really does.
One thing that, when you look at some of the more mobile quarterbacks around football, where, of course, Lamar Jackson is the gold standard for mobile QB. When I was playing in the NFL, Michael Vick, a teammate of mine for a couple of seasons in Atlanta, he was the gold standard for mobile quarterback. Now, Justin Fields, I would put him more. I'm sure you both remember Donovan McNabb.
Yes, sir.
I would put Justin Fields more in the Donovan McNabb category, where he's a guy who certainly has a lot of running ability, but isn't necessarily the electrifying athlete in the open field that Lamar Jackson is. So, certainly can both be super effective, but he's got a different running style, and frankly, doesn't necessarily prefer to run as frequently as Lamar Jackson would. So what the Bears did, what Luke Getsy did game plan-wise, because they were coming off the Thursday night game and had 11 days off before a Monday night game, they added the wrinkle of more called QB runs to the offense. But Justin Fields prefers, and he was like this in college at Ohio State, where he prefers to operate within the structure of the play that's called, but then he does have the ability to improvise. He's just not as immediate with his improvisational skills as Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, guys like that. But they called him into movement of the pocket where the launch point was different, and that helps in ailing pass protection, but then also calling him in the straight QB runs with some QB lead, QB power, QB sweep. That gets him on the move in a way that's within the structure of the playbook, and that's where he's most comfortable.
Yeah. So taking after this good performance against the Patriots, they're facing they're playing the team that just beat the Lions, but they're playing the Cowboys this week. What do you see from this performance against the Patriots that either needs to be worked on, or or something good that they could take into this matchup against Dallas?
Well, the Patriots have such an exceptional pass rush. They get after the quarterback at a really high level, and they don't have to blitz to do it. And so for the Bears, I anticipate we'll see a lot of what we saw last night because New England had started rushing the quarterback at a pretty high level. And the Bears were hoping to have the guy who they brought in as a free agent and moved him over to center, Lucas Patrick. He started the game at center last night after he had started previous games at guard because he broke his hand earlier during the offseason. And so he wasn't in a position to be able to snap the football. And the center position for the Bears has been a spot they'd struggled with Sam Mustipher in there. Unfortunately, 2 series into the game, Lucas Patrick left the game with a toe injury. There's potential he's going to be out for a while. So now the Bears have Sam Mustipher back in at center. But there are ways that as a play caller, Luke Getsy can help in ailing pass protection. The Bears, their run blocking has been remarkable. They run the ball really effectively with a two-headed backfield of both David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, both extremely effective as ball carriers. And we talked about the running ability that they showcased with Justin Fields last night. So if you can run the ball effectively, that'll take the starch out of that Cowboys pass rush. When you can use the screen game, both on the outside, wide receivers with tunnel screens, your traditional screen game to running backs out of the backfield, even a tight end screen with Cole Kmet, a young player out of Notre Dame who's just a few years into his NFL career. He's not a Travis Kelce type as far as, running the full scope of the route tree, but when they get the ball in his hands, he's shown to be pretty effective after the test. So what I like to call relief passes, and you can help to sort of use the aggression of the pass rush against them, it's going to have to be a big part of the Bears' game plan against the Cowboys with their offense. And defensively, this Bears defense has been growing quite a bit. The last couple of games, they hit blocks more effectively to try and stymie the opposing run game. That was where the Bears' run defense was struggling a lot through the first month of the season. They've begun to shore that up a little bit in recent weeks, and part of that is because their young secondary is holding it down really well on the back end. So that allows the front seven to focus in on showing up their run defense.
Anthony Herron with us. Talking some Big Ten football real quick. We actually have some good matchups this weekend. Ohio State and Penn State, as well as Michigan and Michigan State. Just kind of give us your little preview of these matchups as well as how you think they might turn out.
Well, it feels like, each week folks are looking for the referendum on something. We were just talking about the Bears, and so it's kind of like here in Chicago. Every offensive drive has been a referendum on Justin Fields, if he's the guy or if he's not. And Penn State had a bit of a line in the sand that got drawn a couple of weeks back when they got blown out by Michigan. They responded really well this past weekend, blowing out Minnesota. Now, it was a competitive game in the first half. The Gophers had their backup quarterback in the game, but they did open up the offense, and their backup QB played pretty well. Penn State was still able to dominate the Gophers in the second half of that game. So it was a good response from the Nittany Lions. What really impressed me with Ohio State's last game against my Hawkeyes, the Iowa defense, and especially their front seven, is as salty as any in college football. Like I referenced earlier, the Iowa defense doesn't have to blitz to get home either. They throw 9 and 10 defensive linemen at you. They can pressure the pocket. C.J. Stroud was under more duress in that game against Iowa than he's been in any other game this season, but he responded. And what I love, guys, was that I've been calling for, even throughout the season last year, I thought Ohio State had become too much of a finesse outfit. There was too much volume to the passing attack. You didn't see a team that wanted to dominate the line of scrimmage in the way that they were capable of doing. They had an offensive balance available to them, but they weren't taking advantage of it. And so we saw in a game where Ohio State's passing attack was struggling, where their run game didn't get a lot going early, Ryan Day stuck with the run game against Iowa. Some run lanes began to open. Some play action passing opportunities opened up as well. So I was really impressed just with the approach that Ohio State took against Iowa. I'll say this about the other matchup. The Michigan State game, for 2 years now, we've gone into that game just presuming that Michigan was going to dominate because they just had a personnel advantage on Michigan State. And Mel Tucker is 2-0 against his in-state rival. Each team is coming off a bye week. So up to this point, Michigan has looked like one of the best teams in college football, a national championship type front runner. But until Jim Harbaugh takes down Mel Tucker, I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach because Mel Tucker and his coaching staff, especially his offensive coordinator, Jay Johnson, they really do an effective job of scouting the upcoming opponent. They've had some extra time to do that to the Wolverines. So I'm really curious how that matchup's going to play out.
Anthony Herron from 670 The Score in Chicago, talking some Big Ten football. And I need to know, okay, I know this is kind of old news now, all right, but Michigan and Penn State had a little bit of a scuffle in the tunnel. I need to know your opinions on it. Who's in the wrong, who's in the right, and what the heck happened?
Well, each individual coach, both James Franklin and Jim Harbaugh, had their individual reaction to it. James Franklin basically made the case afterwards that because it is a unique situation. It was the same way when I would play at the Big House when I was in college at Iowa. You go to Michigan, you're going to enter through one tunnel, you're going to exit through one tunnel. And it's one thing, all right, during the pregame before things have gotten hot and heated, during the postgame, after you've shaken hands and you're headed back to the locker room. But at halftime, man, especially if you end the first half in a scenario where a big moment just took place as the first half ended between Michigan and Penn State a couple of weeks back, James Franklin made the case essentially that they need some kind of a, whether it's a cooling off period or some sort of a defined order for which team enters the locker room first, just so you don't have these individuals who've been out there essentially in physical confrontation for the first 30 minutes of the game, and then you're supposed to just sort of calmly, quietly enter the locker room at halftime without thinking about it. It can be a lot to ask. I mean, it can be a lot to ask of professionals, grown men, let alone teenagers who maybe don't control their emotions quite as well. That was the basic point that James Franklin made, and Jim Harbaugh pretty much came out and said, you know what, I got bigger fish to fry. I'm not really worried about it. I don't want anybody whining about our circumstances. Control your team, I control my team. I think essentially Jim Harbaugh is taking that stance because, frankly, they're not going to change the location of the locker rooms. Michigan Stadium, place well over 100 years old. I don't think they're going to do much about it. So, he doesn't need to necessarily waste a lot of brain matter about it at the moment.
Yeah, I think in that aspect, James Franklin might be asking for a little much. All right, he might be asking for a little much. That whole situation was something, at least new to me, but I was commenting on it earlier. I was like, these guys, obviously, compared to professional league, these guys are going to have a lot of emotions, okay? They're going to be all over the place. They're not scared to say what they got to say because, I mean, again, they're teenagers. They're going to say it, all right? So it's just a good little situation that we got, a nice spicy situation at least. But I got a big question here, okay? We got Ohio State and we got Michigan. They're the top teams in the Big Ten. They're really the main teams to look at because, we got Illinois and we got, Penn State. They're farther in the AP poll. But Michigan, Ohio State, they're playing the last week of this season. What are your speculations on this one? This is going to be one of the biggest games of the season, and I cannot wait for it.
And this is you broke up a little bit, actually. This is the Ohio State-Penn State game you're referencing?
Oh, I'm talking about the Ohio State-Michigan at the end of the season, because I don't know
at the end of the season.
Yeah. Pretty much the Big Ten championship.
With that one, I think there's great potential that each team would end up entering that game undefeated. And if that ends up being the case, then I really don't think that whoever ends up winning that makes the Big Ten championship game, they're obviously going to be in a great spot to make the college football playoff.
Of course.
And whoever loses that game, if that's their only loss of the season, and with as great, as dominant, as versatile as each of those squads is with, it shouldn't, to me, rule out the loser of that last regular season game from the college football playoff picture either. I heard a lot of discussion that started up as soon as Alabama lost. It happens every year. Whenever Alabama loses a game, folks quickly start making the point for 2 or 3 teams from the SEC making the playoff. Talk to me about that when we get to the 12-team playoff before we start anointing 3 different teams from the Southeastern Conference that are going to make the college football playoff. You got other undefeated squads out there. You got, yes, Oregon got boat raced by Georgia earlier in the season. But if we're willing to look at a rematch between some SEC teams in the playoffs, what would be the problem if Oregon runs the table the rest of the way and wins the Pac-12 with them maybe having another crack at the Georgia Bulldogs? But certainly from a Big Ten perspective, I think there's multiple teams with the opportunity there. The Illinois Fighting Illini, they had a bad loss in their second game of the season back in Week 1 to Indiana. But since then, you want to talk about a team that's been feisty on defense, versatile on offense, utilizing the transfer portal, bringing in a really efficient and explosive quarterback in Tommy DeVito, and one of the front runners. If it's not Josh Heupel for National Coach of the Year by the end of the season, it's likely going to be Brett Bielema from Illinois. So if the Illini go on to win the Big Ten West, whoever ends up winning that last game in the Big Ten East between Ohio State and Michigan, they're going to have their hands full with the Illini if they come out of the Big Ten West. So it's going to be a nice boost to the college football playoff resume for either one of those, either the Buckeyes or the Wolverines, who make it to Indy for the championship game.
And it's definitely going to be exciting, to say the least. Anthony Herron from 670 The Score in Chicago, talking about some Big Ten football. And last question for you, Anthony, before you let you go, because I know you're a busy guy, okay? I know you played football for Iowa, okay? I need to know how you feel about the program, at least this season. Let me know.
That's the thing. The context as a whole, when you look at Iowa football and the record for Kirk Ferentz, not just being the all-time wins leader at Iowa, one of the all-time wins leaders in Big Ten history, but even just recent seasons here. These have been some of the great seasons that we've seen Iowa football put together under Kirk Ferentz. A 10-win season last year, 6-2 the year before that during COVID, with winning their last 6 games, all in blowout fashion, 10-win season, 9-win season. So last handful of years here, it's been one of the best programs in college football. And that's as Kirk Ferentz was entering 20 years of coaching. So he's been at this for a quarter century, doing it at as high a level as anyone in the country. But this particular year, they've got one of the best defenses in college football, with maybe the best defensive coordinator in Phil Parker. They probably have the best special teams unit in college football, led by maybe the best special teams coordinator in the country in LeVar Wood. They're struggling mightily on offense. Now, Kirk Ferentz's son, Brian Ferentz, has been the offensive coordinator since 2017. So it's not like he just plucked his son, off the couch from somewhere and just made him the OC this season. There has been years of success that Brian Ferentz has had as the coordinator prior to these last couple of years. What to me is struggling as much as anything for Iowa, you don't see development at the quarterback position. Spencer Petras, who has been the starting quarterback, now in his 3rd year, just got benched at halftime in Columbus. Alex Padilla comes in. He doesn't look any better. As Kirk Ferentz and Brian Ferentz had essentially been telling people, there's a reason Spencer Petras is starting quarterback. We didn't see anything made anyone believe Alex Padilla was going to outperform Spencer Petras in the action he got last week in Columbus. All those things being said, Kirk Ferentz has made it very plain and clear. He's not going to make any changes to the coaching staff during the season. He's never done that before, and I doubt he's going to do it in this case, and he's said, frankly, that he won't. But when the offseason comes, there's certainly some things from a developmental perspective that I think need to be evaluated. How do you get not only the passing game, but frankly the run game for Iowa hasn't been the same the last couple of years either. So this Iowa offense, top to bottom, it needs to be evaluated to see where they can go to make this developmental program to get it back to the point where they're developing high-level playmakers in all phases of the offense.
Great stuff. Anthony Herron with us, 670 The Score in Chicago. We've been talking about Bears football. We've been talking about Big Ten football. We've been talking about Iowa football. We've been really just covering the whole thing. We appreciate it. We hope we can get you back on later on in the season, maybe around that Ohio State-Michigan rivalry game. That's going to be exciting. But thank you very much, Anthony.
Yeah, that'd be a good time.
Oh, you know it.
I look forward to it. You have a wonderful day.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Good stuff. All right. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, a quick little play-by-play with the Bandi Man. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Afternoon Blitz here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Network. I'm your host, the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry. Across from me in the booth, in our new booth, actually, I'm about to put it on the stream here.
Take your time.
Once I get to it, I'm running around this room. Y'all can actually see on the stream. I actually have a lot more room now. Here.
Oh yeah, standing up over there, you just can run around while I'm sitting over here. I feel a little tight, but overall, like it's cool to have all the lights going down on me. It's very professional.
Yeah, you know what I also found?
What?
We gotta have one of those a show.
I love it.
You know what? We got some quick time for a little play-by-play.
Time to catch up on esports with Play-by-Play with the Bandi Man.
All right, so kind of the first story I want to get into, rapper, oh my god, okay, so there's kind of a trend going on in the FGC and the fighting game community is that rappers kind of want to get into it, or that apparently rappers have been nice at fighting games and we just hadn't even known it. And And now some are stepping out of the woodwork to challenge some of these professional players. One of them being Waka Flocka Flame.
Hey, Waka.
He called out professional player Sonic Fox on Twitter. He said, how y'all not know I'm nice with FGC games? Don't nobody want the smoke. Somebody mentioned Sonic Fox. He's barbecue chicken too. He don't want him with Waka with barbecue chicken emotes. Calling him free.
Wow.
That he would be easy. At Sonic Fox must be scared. This is all from Waka Flocka Flame on Twitter. At Sonic Fox must be scared. That's y'all Mortal Kombat leader. Sonic must have knew them Scarlet/Aaron Black moves wasn't going to work on me.
Sheesh.
Sonic Fox, Jamie Fox, Red Fox, Star Fox, Rick Fox. You don't want to be a highlights on Fox Sports. At It's Nobi Gaming, Nobi Boys. And he had a little gift from Zootopia.
Huh.
He is wanting all the smoke from Sonic Fox right now. And let me tell you about this guy. This is not exactly a player you would want to mess with. Now, just from an accomplishment standpoint, this is probably the best NetherRealm Studio fighting game player I've ever seen. Injustice 1, he was dominating.
Sheesh.
Mortal Kombat, actually, he went back and played Mortal Kombat 9, got good at that one too, but really started hitting the scene with Mortal Kombat X. He was unstoppable. Taking tournament after tournament with Aaron Black, and when he got nerfed, he switched to Katana. It didn't matter. When that got a little nerfed, switched to Alien when he came out. Didn't matter when that got nerfed either. Sonic Fox was just too good. Because you know what happened?
What?
There's a famous story where a professional player decided to challenge Sonic Fox to a 1st to 10. 1st to 10 wins. It's a long set. Long story short, Sonic Fox then proceeded to 10-0 the guy.
Whoa.
10-0. Doesn't end there. The guy then went on stage and said, you know what, I didn't ask for a 1st to 10 with your Katana. I won it against your Aaron Black. Let's do a 1st to 3. Let's run it back.
Sheesh.
With Aaron Black, Sonic Fox then proceeds to 3-0 him.
Ha!
He 13-0'd this guy.
Ooh.
In front of a full stage, on main stage, in front of in a tournament scene. This is the kind of guy that Waka Flocka is calling out. I don't know if he really wants to smoke. He's one of the best fighting game players ever.
It's gonna be exciting to see what all goes down with that whole situation because honestly, I know a little bit at least about Sonic Fox just from getting to learn him more from you, and now seeing Waka Flocka doing what Sonic Fox does to others, where it's like calling him out, being a little bit of a toxic guy. But you know what? I want to see if Waka Flocka can put the money where his mouth is.
Yeah, I want to see it because the last time a rapper actually went up against someone from the FGC, it was Daigo Umehara, I would say the best Street Fighter player.
Yeah.
Certainly top 3 of all time. Went up against Lupe Fiasco. And what happened, Lupe Fiasco ended up taking the game, taking the set 3-2 in a very close last game. That was clearly played for entertainment.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
But hey, people will still hop on and say, hey, remember when Lupe beat Daigo? Like, these guys can hang. It's like, he clearly let him win. Just watch the tape back. You know what? That's either here or there. Another quick story, Black Adam and a new mode has been teased for Multiversus release later this week, along with a new movie coming out. I imagine that's why that's coming out. And Optic has won the Halo World Championship, beating Cloud9 in the Grand Final, only losing one map.
Sheesh.
All the way up to Grand Finals where they lost the first, I believe they lost first set 1-4. Yeah, 1-4 in the first phase, and then later went on to 4-0 them in the second. I'm actually just checking something real quick. I want to make sure I got the sound up so that way I can hear the hard time. I know, I'm still getting used to all this over here. But they beat them. It was a best-of-7 bracket. I mean, getting one forward in Grand Finals, that's a little bit of a humbling, especially after having that good of a tournament run.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4-0ing them in Phase 2. What a way to end it. Good job to Optic. You know what? I'm looking forward to watching the Halo Championship Series come back. I mean, it will start back up in February because this is technically the end of the season.
Yeah. Super entertaining. I'll say that much.
We do have an invitational. I think that's going down in December, and then the Spartan Showdown in January. That's going to be like little preseason events.
All right.
So I'm hoping with updates to Halo Infinite, we'll see that content kind of shine, and we'll see some more coverage for the HCS.
Nice.
But you know what? This has been, this is a good show.
I think it was a good show. I have to admit, it was a good Tuesday, a little tipsy Tuesday. Very nice.
Tuesday.
We got a good little talk with Anthony Herron. I loved that. That was great. Good energy from him. Tomorrow, we got RJ White. We're going to have a wonderful time talking about NFL lines. all that stuff that's going down. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to have more stories for you guys. And Bandi is going to come in here with the play-by-play. It's going to be a great thing.
Yes, sir.
For me, for Bandi, we're going to get out of here. This has been the Afternoon Blitz. You guys have a wonderful night.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant